Hi, Sophie Andreo here. So you've heard about AI, but you're not sure how to access it. I've been sharing that there are browser versions and embedded versions, and they are different. And let me just show you why they're different, how they're different. But this is just a how to access it from the browser version to the embedded version. So on the browser side, I'll be sharing with you ChatGPT, Copilot, and Gemini. And then on the embedded side, how is Gemini embedded into your Google world and how Copilot is embedded in your Microsoft world. Of course, there are so many other things that we normally talk about, but that's what I want to just dive in this short video. So, how do you access your AI from your browser? It's simple. You've got chatgpt.com that accesses it from your browser, or copilotmicrosoft.com if you want to access that from your browser, or if you want to access gemini.google.com from your browser. So that's how you access it. And it's very much like accessing Facebook. When you go to Facebook, you have a email and password to get you into your account, and or LinkedIn, an email and password to get you into those accounts. Same thing with AI. First time you are going to access it, it's going to ask you for to create an account, an email and a password. That creates your account. And just like Facebook or LinkedIn, you can access it on your browser or from your cell phone. So you download the app and on your phone, and it's going to ask you for the same email and password. Then what happens is whatever work you do on your browser will automatically be on, you can access it from your app on your phone. So if I'm taking photos of something and I have inspiration and I'd like to go to a chat I had 2 weeks ago and add more information to it and get more details on that conversation I had, ask it more in-depth questions, I can do that from my phone. I come back to my browser version later on when I'm in my office. I have access to the exact same information. So it's a fabulous, powerful way to continue your productivity. But how do you access the browser version? Just like this. So chatgpt.com is how you would access it. And these are the things you see on here. When you first come to it, you're going to have in the middle here, what can I help with? And this is where you can ask anything. That is where the prompt goes. Right here in the middle is where the prompts go. I do a lot of work with people on how to write the best prompts. And my biggest suggestion is to always ask the chat GPT you're working with or the AI version you're working with, what would be the best way for me to ask you this question? And it comes out with the best way because sometimes you don't know how smart it is, how far reaching it can go to get information for you. So it needs to know exactly what you want. But that's a whole other conversation, right? So when you log into it, if you have been working with it in the past, all your past chats come here. So every time you go in, if you have a particular thing that you're working with, location sharing issues, or if you're talking, let's see, what is this one? First actor, I don't even know what this is. Route map creation. We have a snow blowing company and we are creating our routes depending on what our client needs and the weather. So this is a route creating prompt that I put in, and I go back to it when I'm looking to create more information about my route when I want a new map created. So I go in here, even though I do have some that are created automatically through my agents up here. But this is where you go for your past chats, okay? Down here, your chats. And then you can also create projects. That's a whole other conversation. There's so much more you can do than just put in little prompts here and have it ask you questions. You can also save them as prompts and give it direction. So every time you go back into it, as projects, it knows already the original prompt and it's gathering information. You can upload files. So it's a fabulous place if you have clients, if you have specific projects you're working on, helps you with your filing system. Both of these do. And then up here is where you can create agents. And they're really powerful. You're creating your own GPT. I have entire workshops or webinars on how to create your own GPTs. Very simple, very effective. Tourism uses it. If they want people to come to their area and see everything that they could possibly do, they'll put it into one GPT and put it on their websites. So there's a lot of places to use that. Some people use it for onboarding. Anyways, that's where it is. Mainly people come in and just go straight here and put in their questions. But now a lot of people are using their past history, which is excellent, the past chats. What's kind of new is you can click on this and you can talk to it. So you could be traveling somewhere for a half hour, go to your version of ChatGPT on your phone. Say, I'm going to be traveling for a half an hour. I'd like to learn more about this topic. Just tell me about it. I'll ask you more questions. Tell me about it. I'll ask you more questions. It ends up that, you have the smartest person in the world helping you learn about a new topic. That is really cool. Anyway, so that's how you access it. ChatGPT. I've often said if you're talking about something private to ChatGPT, you don't want it to be in your chats when you come back here, go into private mode. You click on that, it goes into private mode, and it will not be in your past chats when you come back. It is saved in the cloud for 72 hours, I understand, but you can't access it, and supposedly no one else can. As we've always said, because this is in your browser version, do not put your financials, do not put anything that can identify a human in your browser version chats. We've always said that. They do have upgraded versions now of ChatGPT that are more secure, but I'm not getting into that here. Okay, so also, if you notice this little plus thing here, that's how you add stuff. But if you click on it, what happens is there's more things you can do on your actual ChatGPT. You can add files from Google Drive if you're looking to access your Google Drive and you're looking to find files from before. If you're looking to do things that go into a number of different PDFs, perhaps, or not Word documents, docs in your uh, or it could be Word documents, anything that you've saved in your Google file, Google Drive, right? You can go in and check those out for you, bring them forward, and summarize them. So then there can do a deep research where it's taking a lot longer to really research something out. Shopping research, creating images, agent mode. This is where you want it to go in and actually complete tasks for you. So it's getting more and more and more powerful. And when you click on more right here, there are other things it can do now. It can access Canva. It can study and learn. There are other sources it can add. So it keeps on getting more and more powerful. So that's ChatGPT, how you access the browser version. Copilot, you can access a Copilot browser version as well. It is not linked to your Copilot embedded version, just so you know. They're two different versions. So often, I've known that people who are only allowed to use Copilot, they will open up Copilot on the side as well, embed Copilot within their Microsoft world. But that's for another discussion. However, so this is how you access Copilot from your browser. Your same idea, you talk to it in the center here. Your past chats are on the left over there, and there are new things always coming up that you can look at on the left top part. And same concept, use your past chats to help you organize your thoughts, your conversations, your topics. It's very powerful that way. That way you go in and it picks up where you may have left off here, back a month ago. So it's really cool. If you click on the plus here or on the down arrow here, you end up seeing all these other things you can do with it. Because it is owned by Microsoft, you can connect to your Gmail, your Google Calendar, your contacts, your Google Drive even, which is cool. So you're mixing two different versions of platforms, and your Outlook, your Microsoft Outlook, your OneDrive. You can do so many different things. Start a quiz, start an action. So they become more and more powerful. So when we do our workshops, if someone wants a deep dive on ChatGPT or on Copilot, this is what I mean by deep dive, getting into some more productivity gains from using these tools. And then we have Gemini itself, which is also a powerful AI tool that has some amazing output. I'm very much enjoying the output I get from ChatGPT and from Gemini. I often go to both to find out the answers to a lot of the competitive research I do for clients. So This one, gemini.google.com, is how you get to it. I don't need the /app there, but similar. My chats are in the center. Ask Gemini anything. That's where when I ask a prompt, the prompt starts going up here as it starts answering in the center. So that's where it would start answering for me. All your past chats again are on the left over here. You can see a new chat if you wanted to just, if you're in the middle of something, you think, oh, I want to start a new chat on something else, go over here, start a new chat. If you need that to be private mode, you can do your private mode right there. Okay, and then there's so many other things you can explore on here. And if you click on the plus or the tools, more tools come up. So deep research, if you want it to take longer to find out your information, creating videos, that's new. Banana is new. I don't know if I have an example of it. No, I don't. But Banana just came out with a new version, very powerful in creating images. So that's really cool. Their video, VEO, that's become powerful in creating videos. Canvas, and then there's a learning guide and dynamic view. They have things in labs, they all do, that are in development that they roll out slowly. And as they roll out, they stay in labs until they are fully rolled out. And then they become part of their mainstream. So, again, very powerful. So this is how you access by the browser version. Again, we've said it often, the browser version, it is in the browser. I treat it like Facebook. If I wasn't going to put something onto Facebook because I don't want everyone to know my passwords, everyone to know my client information, I'm not going to put it in the browser version. That's your rule of thumb if you are working with uh, data which you consider private and needs to stay secure. Then we have Google Gemini embedded. So now I'm talking about embedded. So what is this embedded we speak of? So in the Gemini world, we're talking Google. Copilot, we're talking Microsoft. So what do I mean by that? In the Google world, Gemini, they created Gemini as their AI embedded app. So once you enable Gemini in your Google World, what you're able to see here is this little app, and that is the Gemini symbol. It's embedded in your Gemini. In this case, I'm showing you my Gmail. And you can see that in my Gmail, I have the logo right in my Gmail. It's not in the browser. The browser would be up here. It's in my Gmail. I click on it, it opens up a panel within my Gmail. I can ask it to look for all the past emails that have anything to do with a certain topic. And then what happens is it's not looking only at the subjects, because as we know, the subject lines are often not um, not reflective of what's in the actual email, but it's looking at the entire email, comes up with a list of them for me. Huge time saver. It also will go in and based on my past behavior, based on who I've been emailing back and forth, it'll tell me in green here, as you can see, my mouse will suggest reply, suggest reply. So it's telling me who I might, if it looks through all my emails and looks at, okay, these are the two you should be replying to right now. So that's really cool. I could ask it as well. If you click on this, let's click on this one. If I click on it, it can summarize this email for me if it was really long. It can actually even summarize, I can even ask it to reply to it for me. Of course, as we've always said, you are the final say in whatever you send. You can ask it for some help to give you some productivity gains, but definitely go in and tweak it so it is your own voice, so it sounds like you, but it also is accurate. That is so much more important, right? After it sees how you've replied, you'll find that that indeed is training it. And you can say, no, this reply wasn't appropriate. I never talk like that. I'm not rude ever. I'm a little more personable. I'm funny, actually. So it starts then talking like you as you train it. But that's how we learn how to talk to our AI. So this is Gemini embedded. But you can also embed it in Copilot within Microsoft Word. So this was in your Gemini within your Gmail, okay, if you're using Gmail. But what if you're not using Gmail? What if you're instead a Microsoft shop? So a lot of the banks I work with, the larger organizations, are only allowed to use Microsoft and they are only allowed to use Copilot, which is embedded in their Microsoft um, 365 or in their Microsoft Enterprise. So they're only using those because their information needs to stay secure. You cannot have a violation of privacy or security breaches. So this is how they move forward with AI, is by embedding it in their Microsoft world. So in here, that's what it looks like. Once it's embedded, oh, that's over too far. Let me just, that needs to be over here. There, from current slide. So when Microsoft and AI first, when Microsoft first allowed AI embedded in its tools, Copilot didn't exist. So there are other AI tools that I was using. That's what these are. I could probably get rid of them now because I don't use them anymore. The only one, of course, I use is Copilot embedded in Microsoft because it has so many features. It's embedded. It was created by Microsoft. I trust it more than I trust the other ones from the past. So in this case, this is a Word document. This happens to be the AI security and policy workbook that I've created for clients, how to build your own AI use policy, and how to use AI policy, whatever. And so in this case, it comes up, you click on it, it comes up with a little panel on the side, and you can ask it anything. It'll give you ideas of what it thinks you might want to know. You can get help with editing it. You can help with adding topics to it. You can get help with so much more. You can have it read perhaps a document that you would like summarized within this document. You could perhaps have it find documents within your Microsoft world and have it then summarize them into charts. Perhaps you can have it create a PowerPoint from a Word document because now you're in your Microsoft world and the productivity gains that you have are outstanding. So that's where it's embedded within your Microsoft world. If I go into PowerPoint, here it's embedded in PowerPoint. I click on that, up comes on the side the same kind of panel. And in that case, you can add slides. Like I said, you can add a Word document to it and you can ask it to create slides from this Word document. It's very powerful with what you can do. You can ask it to create images for your PowerPoint. They're getting better and better, those images. They were weak before, but they're getting much stronger now. And then Excel, this to me is where those that have huge data needs are really finding this to be one of the most powerful tools they've ever worked with, and that is the Copilot embedded within their Excel because they are number crunching humans and they are. There's so many different formulas you can use in Excel. This will create your formulas for you. It will find gaps in your data, outliers where there's trends that you don't even see with the naked eye. So it's very powerful in what it can do for you. And there's something called an agent mode that they've just built into Excel if you have Copilot enabled. And in that, it will create dynamic dashboards, which are very powerful. So if you are a number cruncher and you have data coming in, and your Excel spreadsheets need to be merged and cleaned and then turned into graphs and dynamic KPIs, then you really need to enable your Copilot in your Microsoft world. And you just enable it once, and I believe it's $30 US a month, and it's enabled across all of your platforms in Microsoft. So it's not you need $30 here, $30 there, $30 there. It's enabled across, including your Teams. So you're in a meeting on Teams, it will summarize for you, send out action reminders, very powerful. So back to Gemini. If I am in Gemini, as I said, you've embedded it in your, it gets embedded in your email and it can find your emails and look at what am I asking it here? Please let me know when you and your team will be available to discuss it further. It's giving me ideas of how I should reply to a particular email, which is fabulous. This is Gemini embedded in Docs. So if you are a Google user, you're not using the Microsoft world, is what I'm saying, and instead you're using Google Docs, Google Sheets, and the whole Google platform, including the Google Drive and Google Gmail, then you can have your Gemini embedded in each of those. You enable it once and it's embedded across all of those. Okay, that's what it looks like when it's embedded. You click on it, it opens up a panel here and it'll tell you the summary. You can add different docs to it. So you may want to summarize other documents within it. You might be answering a grant or a RFP, a request for quote. You upload that here, ask it to walk you through how to answer it. What information do you need? It'll craft it for you, but you need to give it your details, obviously, and be the final editor of it. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Within Google, they also have Google Gemini built into Sheets. So the Excel version of Google, and it is very powerful as well. Also within, if you are doing Google Meets, it's embedded in your Google Meets as well to take your summary notes. Okay, so that's what the difference is. I hope that makes sense. Just wanted to get that out there to you.